I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 14th of January 2013. Temperature has been from 15 degrees or something in the middle of the night to, or early this morning, to 32 for a high probably. So it's too cold to really enjoy being outdoors much. But I did make a few new pictures, but mostly I used the ones from Saturday morning, a lot of those. Okay, let's look at it and see what we got. Okay, somebody on the internet, Facebook, wanted to know, well, what is Blackland Prairie? Well, it's all around Fayetteville. It's not the Blackland Prairie exactly that they have in West Texas. This is all inside my backyard. That's moist soil, and it looks black when it's been rained on. But there's at least one picture in this group where that's all organic matter. You don't see any rock in that. That's just leaves in my yard. We let the leaves lie so they can become part of the soil in the coming year. You don't have to do any work to really compost them when you've got that kind of soil there, and a dog to run around and scatter them a little bit and dig them. But there's one spot, there you go. You see the brown, the lighter colored tan? That's what it looks like when the dog digs it up and leaves it on the surface and it dries out. But it never looks like clay in the sense of what you think of. Those guys are standing on some moist soil prairie, Blackland Prairie, and the whole western edge of the National Cemetery, which you can see in the background, is that kind of soil. And on the north end, it's a really deep, rich prairie soil like that. And that's Mayor Lionel Jordan, and he's congratulating the lady who runs the National Cemetery for the VA, and her assistant is at her right there. And they're very nice ladies, and they do a great job and work with the public and work with the veterans and the veterans' families when they come. The occasion was that the RNCIC, and there's the treasurer of the RNCIC, all those officers are old veterans, and here's the, well, two members of RNCIC and the camera person from Channel 5 television. And there's Jake Lampkins. You see him at the library sometimes. He's a big volunteer over there, and he's a former postman and Air Force veteran and so forth. And he runs the website for the Regional National Cemetery Improvement Corporation. And that young man is for, 4 years now, been very important in getting the fundraising 5K race together every year, seeing that it was run well. So there you can see the group, some of the members at right. That's Ron Butler, the man wearing the RNCIC cap, and he's getting a check for $3,000 from the Northwest Arkansas Economic District Incorporated, and that's to help pay for what's already been bought by the RNCIC, and also to help buy land in the future. So the lot they're on is at South Hill Avenue and 11th Street, and that lot has been bought for use in the expansion of the cemetery. Shouldn't be used for that because it's a low point just before the water goes into the town branch down there. But if it's all built over in the usual way, then it won't be absorbing water anymore. The man at the very end of that list of photos is a new member of the RNCIC. He's Gary Culp. He's also, I believe, an Air Force veteran of many years and a colonel, and he he's also the chairman of the Northwest Arkansas Master Naturalists for this coming year. So he's at least one person in that group that will share my sadness that this prairie land, which produces so many native plants and so much wildlife habitat, is being used for the National Cemetery expansion instead of sale barn property, which was the natural site for it. Until next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, the woods green, and honor our veterans and support doing the right thing for our wildlife and human beings. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and I'm going to show some photos and talk with
Jordan.
Friend Jordan, or Bob Jordan, to those who've known him a long time. All right, let's see what the pictures are today. Frost flower.
Oh boy, it's beautiful.
Verbicina virginica, and that's the base of it. And that frost has been on there for several days, quite a few days this late fall and early winter, but it's persisted with its temperature stays below freezing or only gets above freezing a brief time during the day. It doesn't melt very fast. So these same structures were on there for several days, and we're recording this on the 17th of January 2012. You see, Bob, the skin, the bark of that is really like a leaf that wraps all the way around it, that sort of spreads out and lets the water run out. You ever see these in person?
Oh, I've seen them for sure. When I lived in northern Vermont, some things like this were very common, but I have seen them here too.
Because you had more cold weather there.
More cold weather,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah, but those plants have, this particular species, they have white flowers at the top. So this will stop happening as winter goes on. Some of the changes in the amount of moisture and so forth, and they'll sort of dry out and quit working. But tell me about your perception of nature. That's one of my subjects here all the time, is the variety and the diversity of things in nature, like this plant and a few others that have this kind of thing. Would you rip that vine off your fence if you saw it?
I don't know. I guess it would depend on whatever else was around it. Yeah. Is that the vine that's making the
No. This is one of the milkweed plants of one of several species of climbing or spreading milkweed. And those are the seed pods. And every year I show those several different times. They're different species seed pods. And you're looking there at the no motor vehicle sign on Pinnacle Prairie, which is adjacent to World Peace Wetland Prairie. And the reason I show it is what it could look like if that pasture or that old field behind this fence there were not mowed several times in the summer for hay or not. But anyhow, that's a natural prairie area, and it's incredibly diverse. What you don't see are the birds feeding out there on the seeds left from the plants, the grass and the flowering plants. And you don't see the box turtles and other things that are hiding under there and maybe hibernating at this point. Not many snakes in those prairies like that. Surprisingly, I've never seen one out there, and I've tramped through that for many, many hours. But you don't see the burrowing crawfish under there very often, unless it rains and they come to the surface because their burrows are built up. Well, Robert, I hope you'll do your own short take next week, and maybe I'll sit in with you if you do.
Well, you brought up a couple things that I might like to just do a brief one with you today on what I just saw, and some of the curiosities I had from it.
Well, let's see if there's time left for us to do that. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green.